and it can be very hard to play the type of Dota that you've planned for.
All right, let's see if they respect the Undying or if we're going to see the Primal Beast. And it's interesting to note, too, usually it's Primal Beast that first gets banned.
Yeah,
So they're going to allow the Undying to go through. And I'm curious to see if T1 will continue with this trend. I mean, if it's not broke, don't fix it, right?
It feels like they will. I mean, every single time they've always gone for it. And there we go again. Every single time it's been given to them, they have taken it as soon as possible. And Navi have... I don't know if Navi know that Undying exists still. It feels like this hero is just not on their radar for the draft phase. They don't care.
I mean, they know he exists. He definitely bullied them very badly in the lane in the last game, but...
Oh, Lace knows that Undying exists. I know that much.
Poor Lace. All right, same opener with the Undying and the Morphling. They had very good results with it in game number 2. And we are seeing a little bit similar on the side of Navi. They end up with the Clockwork. Thought, that looked pretty solid for them. But now they pick up the Visage.
Visage is not a hero that suffers as badly against Undying. I like it a lot more. I think he's quite good at killing the Tombstone by being a range hero. Also, his birds can help a lot for bringing down the Tombstone quickly. And he doesn't get bullied as hard in the laning stage by simply just one Undying existing there. So I like this. This is adjusting to the Undying more so than they did in last game. And yeah, T1 are truly going, like you said, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. The Morphling is back again. Are we going to see a hat trick here of Anna owning on his Morphling? We saw 2 games, you and I, already of his performance. Can he do it a third time?
I'm curious what their plan is to slow down this Morphling, because, again, it was Anna who popped off. He was our MVP in the last game. He had 0 deaths. I'm curious to see if they're going to get more aggressive, if they're going to send a particular hero to try to deal with him. What would you like to see coming out from the side of Navi to really put that pressure down on this Morphling?
You just want some good sources of silences and control. You might get that later on here by the Visage going for possibly an Orchid or something with the Aghanims build. He can always sneak up and get kills on the Morphling, but I think they had the right idea last game as well. Just getting a lot of disables, a lot of control, and already with Clock Visage, the 2 of them bring quite a few disables, right? You have the 2 birds and you have Clockwork with all his stuff. The important thing is just going to be setting up lanes that function so that they all hit the power spikes that you expect. Last game, they lagged behind and their power spike didn't hit cleanly, and that was the main issue. That's why Cuckoo could just stand in the laning stage and have an extended laning stage, if you will, just farming his entire Aghanims before ever leaving bottom lane on his Vengeful Spirit.
Yeah, we mentioned that it was very surprising with the amount of farm that he was able to accrue during that time, because it felt like a fairly strong lane against him. But they realized, like, we don't want to have to deal with that Vengeful. There were so many good swaps that occurred. Let's just remove it from the game. And on the flip side of that, they'll do a little bit of respect towards V-Tune. They don't want to see that Drow Ranger that they saw in game number 1, because it definitely gave them a lot of issues. And when you see this Clockwork picked up, you assume that there's... the way that Navi has played the drafts in the last couple games, that they're going to have someone who just sits farther back and it just deals out that damage. Plus, also that silence, right, coming off from Gust could be a huge problem for the Morph.
Yeah, also banning out the Drow Ranger is smart because of the armor-piercing hits as well. Morph has, like, great base armor, but Drow does so much damage into him, could really kill him quite quickly. Even if there's not going to be a hero that we might see as Elder Titan, are they going to go for it? No, they go for the Disruptor approach. Okay, same thing again.
Now, I know we discussed this a bit at length, saying that both of the supports going for the Aghanim Scepter right away, like as one of their first items, like a huge bad idea.
I would be surprised if they do the same thing again. They have the same reason to want to do it, right? The Clockwork Aghanims feel fantastic when you get it. It's really nice, and you can honestly do a lot of damage with those rockets. But Disruptor also has a huge case for why he should have an Aghanims against a Morphling. But honestly, I think they have to prioritize which one they want and possibly get some Force Staff or Glimmer or Medallion, any form of minor useful item early on. Even just stuff like having an urn on your clock and he can run around and gank more. I think they can't delay their impact as much this time.
Who would you prefer to see have that priority of farm out of the 2 of them?
The +4, of course. +5, you can dream of the Aghanims. You'll get it if we kill Roshan like a million times.
True, true.
No, the
But it felt like
Disruptor
it was more
Aghanim's
of a
feels great, but I think it's very ambitious to try and get it.
It felt like a 4.5 situation at one point in that particular game. That's why I was just asking if there was one that you felt was a higher priority, despite the fact that they were kind of splitting a little. But do end up seeing the Tusk picked up again for Zephyr. We saw some really fantastic saves coming out of him in the last game using the snowball, being able to dodge quite a bit. So would not be surprised to see him do a lot more saves again this time around.
Oh, there it is.
All right, there it is. There it is.
All right, so with that, we can expect, even though there's room for flexibility, that this is going to be a Cuckoo Undying again, probably. And that's going to be, you know, the Zephyr being on Venomancer, we know that much. It's going to happen, right? He loves this hero so much.
5 seconds.
I think they run it as a 3 occasionally, though.
I suppose Cuckoo is very flexible to do it.
I feel like that was the bigger meme coming out was when they run it as a 3.
Oh, right, the Cuckoo Mancer.
MLP, like,
yes.
really hates it.
Yeah, I don't like the idea of a +3 Veno. I honestly think that's so weak. Ooh, big setup here. So they go for Naga, which with Disruptor can be a very potent combo for killing off Morphling. You just put down the ulti from Disruptor. Now even more so, he has a really strong case for wanting that Aghanims. Maybe it's time for Clockwork to just buy some useful early items and let Solo be greedy for that Axe.
Yeah, it's the position 3 Venomancer that really drives Mike up a wall.
Yeah, core Veno, I'm not really on board with it. I think it struggles to set high tempo.
I don't know. I don't feel like
Navi's turn to ban.
I don't know. Like you said, we've got flexibility within this draft. I'm curious though to see if this is actually going to be a Zephyr Veno or Zephyr
It's
Tusk,
Zephyr Mancer, I believe. It's Zephyr Mancer, not Cuckoo Mancer, surely, right?
I don't know. These teams, you never know.
Yeah, they do like having the flexibility until the last moment, not give too much information and be able to adapt to what you're gonna see.
5 seconds remaining.
We've got some final bans here coming out. Looks like they're banning a lot of those mids. What would be the perfect cherry on top of the sundae for both of these teams?
I think for the side of T1, they need something similar to this Pango and Lesh in the sense that it's an AoE magic damage dealing hero. Because when you're playing as Naga, you need sources of magic damage continuously, which is why it was smart bans for Navi to make, just securing the Naga's game a little bit more. And over on the side of Navi, what they would want, it's more open for them. I think there's a lot of heroes that could fit.
You need something pretty high tempo though, right? Because Naga tends to take a little while to come online, and you want to be making space on top of everything else, which is going to be provided with the Visage, right? Visage is going to be able to use those birds, help push down towers. You've got very active supports from the form of Clockwork and Disruptor, but I feel like they need something else to pair along with the tempo that they need to be setting.
I think it looks like a great game for Spirit heroes. Looking at T1's draft, they have very bad disables. They have Tusk and Morphling, and that's it for now. Having both Veno and Undying unable to do anything to TP outs or Remnant usages from, like, from an Ember. Okay.
Hello. Were you expecting the Pudge, the last pick Pudge?
I'm sort of ready for anything when it comes to T1. I'm not surprised to see them throw curveballs. This is the team that you kind of have to expect them to do something like that. The Pudge here is quite likely going to be just a mid Pudge, right? That's what I have to... I'd have to expect. Yeah.
And then they throw us a curveball and it's Tops and Venomancer.
I mean, he does do exactly what I said. Leshrac and Pango, AoE magic damage. They needed a substitute that can do the same. Pudge, if he ever gets to Aghanims, destroys Naga Illusions. Like, they die so fast to him, and they don't do much damage because of Flesh Heap and how it works with damage block as well. So, it is an interesting pick, and it gives them a little bit more disable, but still, I think... there's room to run possibly some Ember and Void Spirit, these type of heroes over on the side of Navi.
Are you a fan of the mid pudge? Because I know when we were doing, we were casting NADPC a little while back. Granted, we've had a lot of changes since then, but it always felt like, you know, especially Jenkins, right? Jenkins is the biggest pudge person I know.
And what
he'd
does
be
he
like,
say?
I believe in the pause 1 pudge, but the pause 2, no. He did not believe in it.
I'm with him. Jenkins and I are officially, you know, husband and husband. So I'm standing with him in this as
Forgot
well.
about that.
No, I completely agree. I think carry pudge is much easier to run. Mid pudge is difficult. And oh boy, that could be a hard lane actually. Even though you have damage block, you're going against possibly a Batrider. So they're swapping
it's
it up.
Ana.
It's Thompson going mid with the Morphling. That's gonna lane more easily into Batrider, but still I would say very Batrider favored matchup.
This is quite interesting. This is not the draft that I expected to come out in this third and final game, but you know what? I'm not upset about it because we're going to see something different. And that is the spice of life is, of course, variety. So how are we feeling about these drafts? It definitely feels like this is a little bit more of a challenge for the side of T1 with the final Batrider pickup, but I feel like the aggression coming out from T1 is intense. Is it enough here from Navi?
I think that T1 have intense aggression, but they also have good late game. You should really not count out the Pudge in a carry versus carry if Naga and Pudge have similar farm. Even if Pudge is like several thousand gold behind, he can be a huge problem for Naga. All he needs is to have that Aghanim Scepter and then like a casual plate mail with a Shroud or something, and he becomes very, very difficult to kill. I think this is certainly not what I expected, but I love the draft. I think I prefer Navi a little bit more because they have that sleep into Static Storm play, and they're playing against the Morphling. Like, that can be a great way to kill him, and Tusk as well. Tusk can be problematic when he has Blink Dagger and Snowball, but you can sleep and combo. I like Navi a little bit more here.
I think it's also important to note, too, this time around, we do not have Zephyr on the Tusk. It is going to be Whitemon who's playing it, because we have a Venomancer now in the game. So could see a little bit of a shift here in terms of how active or, the positioning that's going to be coming into play in this next game. But I'm excited either way, you know. We get to see a safe lane Pudge. We get to see Thompson playing something a little bit different. And, of course, we have some very talented players over on the side of Navi who are going to be battling it out for this upper bracket spot.
Yeah, I think T1, they're going out in a fantastic way here with the last pick Pudge. Honestly, it's a creative thing to bring in to counter the Naga. We've seen it used actually a few times before in competitive games as well, and people underestimate it. Pudge does make short work of illusion carries.
I'll have to see if they can make it that far. That is always the question, because you can have a roadmap, but it doesn't mean that you aren't going to run into some bumps along the way. But these are all excellent players, and they're very good at adapting.
Yeah, see smoke in and dropping some wards.
30 seconds to battle.
Just barely gonna evade being revealed there. The smoke timed out, but they were not in the vision of the Radiant ward as the smoke ended.
Naga sending over some of these illusions, trying to get some information.
Yeah, and he's going greedy, going for the Bando Elven Skin Quelling Blade starting item build. No regen, again here on the safe lane, similar to his Lina build.
I was about to say, I feel like that is a common thread. But 3 bounty runes going over to the side of Navi, so they are off to a great start.
Yeah, that's nice. They get a slight advantage here on laning stage, and like I said, I already thought that Batrider is a very strong mid-hero and hard to lane into. Morphling fares better than Pudge would in that matchup, but still, I think no one has a great setup here to have a good game. With the Bounty Rune advantage and being Batrider, he's going to have early bottle. This will be an important first few CS for Thompson, if he can get some denies.
Now this is interesting to note too. We've got Ana and Whitemon facing off with a V-Tune and Solo in this bottom.
Yeah, they're pairing the Pudge into the Naga. They wanted the matchup. He didn't want to go against the Visage, and he wanted, more importantly, he wanted to be against the Naga.
Has been killed.
We'll end up losing that courier right off the bat. But I feel like this is just going to be a brawl down here. Man, Thompson has so many stacks on him over here in this mid lane. That's pretty spooky. Has forced out the magic stick charges, but it's not an easy lane when you're up against that rider.
Yeah, has to back up and try to regen a bit, but like you said, this lane will be no one being in control, and Thompson having to try and get what he can. So far, good CSing though. He hasn't been able to score any denies into the Batrider, but he's still getting good farm for himself.
Now, the one thing I'm a little concerned about is that we have two heroes that kind of take a little bit of time, right? Like, Ana on this Pudge, he's going to need to get some items before he can be fully effective. And then when you have something like a Morphling, this isn't what we typically see Thompson playing recently, right? It is a little bit more farm intensive. He's not going to be as active, supposedly. Bottom lane, Ana ticking down quite a bit. This is not looking great here. They do have the snowball. They're going to try to go for the save, turn their attention over onto Solo, but it's still going to be Solo who gets the first blood.
Nice play there by Navi. And I think Pudge struggles with one thing here. He's a little bit squishy in the early phase. As tanky as Pudge will get later on, I am surprised that they matched him up against the Naga, because it is a counter later on, but right now, not so much.
Oh gosh, alright, there's a kill in the top lane as they're still sitting very low. Sweden Strong trying to finish off Zephyr, giving the clicks, throwing out those cogs. It's doing a lot of damage. They need just a little bit more.
Oh, the creeps get him!
They're not...
He died! The range creeps were still on him.
Oh my god.
I mean, maybe not the worst thing ever he's gonna get full HP, but he had a salve ready, so he definitely wouldn't have wanted to die there. Bottom, a glimpse back. They're trying to bring down Pudge a little bit. Not gonna get a kill on him.
Time.
But good damage.
Seeing a lot of aggression coming out right away in this game, number 3.
Yeah, feels like the important thing to stands out to me right now is that V-Tune is getting really good farm down here.
Thompson taking a lot of damage from no one. Is forced out the Fairy Fire. Still has bottle charges though, so just a lot of very nice harass coming out from the side of no one.
He's harassing, but he's not getting the kills yet.
Sweden Strong just getting clicked upon up here on this top lane. He's going to just teleport out. They have nothing to cancel the TP, so he's going to be fine. But he is going to have to walk back to lane, which they might be able to put some pressure on Lace in the meanwhile.
Yeah, Lace is going to be alone for a little while, and Zephyr intends to do as much as he can to do damage and might actually be able to kill him here, chasing after.
Not sure. Maybe one more? Yeah. It's looking very close. With that poison sting.
He's ticking.
There it is.
Meanwhile, bottom lane, look at this. V-Tune going in under tower to just run at Ana. He's pretty much dying already.
Yeah, Ana can't do much of anything against this right now. Like, he's trying, but they're just really abusing the fact that he's just not,
Ana? You have flesh heap. He didn't use it. He straight up didn't use it there. The last 4 attacks from the Naga, he could have blocked a lot of extra damage there. For getting his cooldown a bit, I guess.
I guess.
Dire are scanning. Dire's courier has been
Did force the TP out of Thompson as, alright. Get a denial here. Gonna try to make the play though, knowing that they don't have the disruptor. They're gonna try to get their own revenge against V-Tune, but lacking some of that damage to be able to do what they need in this bottom lane.
For now, both the side lanes are very high in action though, looking for kills all the time.
Sweden Strong trying to punish Zephyr a bit, trying to just put those nukes down. They go and they even drop the tombstone, just an attempt to keep Zephyr alive, put the pressure down. Cuckoo chasing after him here. Doesn't have a whole heck of a lot of mana. Does have a mango, but still, just again, it's a brawl back and forth.
Yeah, they're trading. I think right now they need to pull T1,
Ana.
need to...
Snowball over onto Solo. Looks like maybe they can get the final hit. Can they get the kill? Yes, they will. But now V-Tune chasing after Ana. Looks like Ana's going to survive. He gets the salve placed on him. They're going to just cancel it out. So that's a very costly salve, considering they got not much out of it, rather.
Yeah, gonna be fine on Naga though, so he can go back and keep farming. There was a pull. He can actually summon illusions and just farm this. The trolls die quite fast to him.
That's exactly the plan there.
Thompson gonna be the winner of the rune luck, checking top and bottom rune. He gets a haste rune over on his Morphling, so he could now maybe make a move towards side lanes with a teleport, or even just running over there. Doesn't have a TP scroll right now though.
Like trying to figure out where the next kill's gonna happen. It feels like once they start amping up, everybody just starts murdering each other.
Top lane probably. It feels like they're gonna go there with
being here.
Thompson.
Cancel out the TP, and they should be able to get the kill on Swedenstrong. No problem. Bottom lane, though, we are seeing the Bat Rider teleport in. He's got the lasso. Their eyes are set over here on Ana. The Snowball, though, coming into play, is going to connect over onto Noah. They need to get out of there fast, and I don't think that was necessarily the play. They cancel out the TP. They'll get Ana. They should be able to get White Mon as well. A good rotation coming out from no one, and a smart choice in who he wanted to lasso there.
Yeah, they managed to get both of them. They were stacked up, so immediately got sticky napalms on them as well, on the two of them, and there was no real way for them to escape. Look at Solo placing a deep ward immediately after this. He puts a ward under the tier 1. He wants to get the glimpse back if he sees anyone early, but see if they are gonna wait. You can see Ana sitting behind the trees, counting. He's like, you know, 1 Mississippi, he's just waiting, and there goes the glimpse, but he was patient enough to wait. Glimpse didn't stop him.
That's a good call.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
Middle lane. See that Thompson and Zephyr trying to close the gap over on Swedenstrong. Should be able to go and land the Gale. Give a couple clicks. You can see that the Nog is making her way over.
He should be dead here. The Morphling can just come in and swoop in for the kill.
Yeah, now with Whitemon here, this is actually potentially very scary for VTune. Shards will connect. And he didn't opt to go for that Song of the Siren pickup. So he is most likely just absolutely dead. And despite no one and Solo making their way over, they're just not going to be able to get there in time to save her.
Oh, the bane of all us mid and carry players, the greed. Not skilling Song of Siren. We don't need it. There's no reason to have it. But yeah, he could have songed and TP'd out if he had it. But of course, you want to get high level in Riptide and Mirror Image.
Cuckoo just getting very aggressive. Is going to get cogged up by Swedenstrong. We'll throw out a little bit of that nuke there. He's got a couple of these stick charges. Goes for another decay. Sitting pretty big. This is a big boy. This is Undying. But there's so many people. Yeah, there are 4 heroes from the side of Navi. He really wants to skill on Swedenstrong, but he's not going to be able to find it. And he does not have enough mana to... Oh, well, there's a little bit more. So he'll buy himself a little bit more decay. He's got 28 stacks of decay. Gonna get thrown back into the corner with V2. But look at how many heroes rotated up to this top area to take care of this Undying.
Jotted up as space created, I think. That's completely fine.
Yes. Now, Thompson, though, invaded the buy angle.
Yeah. It's also a lot of time that Ana gets to recover a little bit. He didn't have the best start down there on his Pudge, but now, you know, Cuckoo going man mode, just forcing everyone to come to top lane, gives a little bit of time for Pudge to find farm bottom.
This is true. That is pressure alleviated. So they've essentially drawn almost all the heroes on the side of Navi up to the top portion of the map after that. Granted, no one was just farming in the mid lane. That's getting very close to those boots of travel, but Ana gets a little bit of a reprieval here in the bottom lane. So.
Right now, T1 are playing with so much information. Their ward game is really strong right now. They have 4 wards down, giving some crucial information, and I think they can make some informed decision where they want to play now. If I was them, I would probably try and make moves towards bottom and try and open up the map a little bit more by removing that tier 1.
I'm trying to put the pressure on here in the top lane as they are smoked up.
Yeah, they're wrapping top instead with the smoke gank. Lace feels it though.
Lace indeed feels it. They're out the shards, try to get the vision. They do have those wards, so they should be able to find them quite easily with the follow-up and the tombstone, so there is not going to be any visage here as they'll put the pressure on this top tier 1 and also try to get the final hits on these birds.
I'm not entirely sure they can just take this tower by pushing without a creep wave. They are going to go for it. I suppose maybe they can. Yeah, doesn't look like anyone wants to go into this nasty place with Tombstone and Venom wards down.
Ana is forced out here using that piggy pole. It's like no one was considering making a jump on him. Didn't opt to use the lasso as the top tower falls. Alright, there we go. A little bit of a hook over onto no one. They'll turn the tables on this Bat Rider. He went in for the gank and got ganked himself.
Yeah, and that's a really important kill. Like I was mentioning, this Pudge, he's gonna want to just farm until he gets his Aghanim. So if a kill can come to his lane, he doesn't want to make a move somewhere else on the map. But if they come to him, that's just amazing for him right now. But meanwhile, of course, his counterpart, the Naga Siren, is farming up a Storm. She has already got Power Treads and Yasha going straight into that Manta Cell. It's gonna be a really early one.
It was interesting to note the fact that Thompson did have a pretty difficult laning phase up against this this Bat Rider. He's still sitting at the top of the net worth, though, despite all of that.
He's playing fantastic. Honestly, he laned it really well. He was very much aware of his limits. He looked like he was close to maybe getting caught out, but always had just enough to back out in time. And yeah, he's building up to become that, you know, the right-click carry in their team from the mid lane, having the Dragonlance already.
It looks like Sweden Strong, his life has been placed out nice and tidily in his quick buy, is going to be going to next item, Aghanim Scepter. He's going to go drop the Tombstone, follow up with a nice snowball from Whitemon. They're just going to obliterate this poor Disruptor.
No way
Take
for
control of this whole jungle area.
Yeah, they're going in, they're fighting again to continue having this deep vision and play under that area. Meanwhile, though, Thompson is trying to set up something top. He says, I'm invis, TP in, maybe we can kill something. They want to get Visage.
Well, they're going to have to respond here because they drag back over onto Zephyr. And Zephyr does not have his ultimate, but they should be able to punish no one. They roll forward with that snowball. There's the click. Whitemon will finish him off, and Lace now just running for his life. Although Vtune is here, they have the net. And go put the nuke damage down over onto Whitemon. There it is, a nice hook shot coming out from Sweden Strong into the silence. Beautifully done by the Disruptor. That is a killing spree that has just been ended, and that is some more push here in this top lane for the side of Navi.
Sweden Strong with a really clean hook and push back there. That was so good. And they're enabling everyone. They're bringing absolutely everyone to this fight. Recognizing that T1, usually when teams run a carry Pudge, he does take a very passive role in the early game. Literally just wants to sit in his creeps. And while that can be true for Naga as well, she did join this fight and she has been fighting. This is what we saw in the previous game as well. Vtune just wanting to join fights a little bit earlier. And now with a 13-minute Manta style power treads, he's looking real good.
Thompson teleporting top, wants to go and try to burst down Lace. And do have the birds, though, to go and throw out stuns. Vtune does have Song of the Siren this time around, so if they get too aggressive, they will have to be very mindful of the fact that she can just reset these fights.
Just TP out. It's just the Venomancer. TP out.
There's a lot of space, though, for Ana, like we were talking about. Again, this is a guy that has to play fairly passive. And I think what's really funny with the state of Dota right now, too, and one of the reasons why I enjoy it is, you know, if we had done this a couple patches ago, if we just passively farmed as a Pudge, we get flamed so hard, right?
No, you still get flamed. I mean, you can do the correct thing and still get flamed. That's the wonderful thing of Dota. Nobody's safe from the flame. This would have been the correct play even back then, but it's just the way Dota is. Nobody is safe. And copying stuff you see in a pro game is not going to necessarily mean that you are free from the flame.
Way back in the day, though. I'm talking like, you know, Dendi era. If you were just farming the entire time, like,
oh,
you'd
for
get
sure,
so
okay.
flamed.
Yeah, of course.
But nowadays, you know, it's perfectly fine that your Pudge is, you know, walking around and just farming up.
That's the new Aghanim for you. It's a powerful tool. It makes him more of an option as a carry.
I feel like we're gonna have a lot of people tuning into this TI, and they're gonna be really confused when they see the first the position 1 Pudge coming into play. Because that's what happens, right? With a lot of these games with TI, we have a lot of our fans coming back just to watch these games in particular.
I guess it's the yearly update for a lot of players. Can they catch Zephyr? Not really. They almost had the end snare there. The glimpse back wasn't quite far enough.
Bottom lane, no one. He's got a lasso and Firefly if he wants to use it. And the Clockwork also coming down, but they realize something is up, so they're going to immediately go in with the Dismember. Good cancellation, though, coming out from Sweden Strong, so Ana just not looking like he's going to survive this at all. Waveform forward, they will make him pay for it, but no one should be able to make it out no problem.
are
End of the day, that's 2 kills going the way of Thompson. He's gonna get the Disruptor as well as the Clockwork. Very happy to join these fights, and that's what we expect from Thompson, right? Even though he's a Morphling, he's playing a mid-Morphling, he is the one who's gonna join more and help his team fight, whereas the Pudge, he just happened to die down here. He doesn't really want to be part of these fights. So he just happened to be at the wrong place at the wrong time.
That was, of course, too, the Static Storm that got dropped, and it did delay a little bit longer, and I think that was probably a good play from the side of Solo, just being able to hold everyone in place, kind of be that distraction, so that they could finish off the kill on Ana, because I think if they had been a little bit faster on the side of T1, they might have been able to save him.
Yeah, they want to get him again now. They just killed Ana, they're now smoking in, trying to catch him again. Sweden Strong smoked up on his clock. He is, you know, assuming that the Pudge is going to go into his own jungle here, so he's warding down, looking for a catch. He needs help, though, to kill him. This is just too far.
They are slowing down his progress on the Agnum Scepter splendidly, though.
They are. Zephyr sieging up bottom tower. This is, you know, this is why I'm saying that Zephyr on his Venomancer is making a lot of stuff happen. I'm really enjoying seeing how he plays. He plays at a high tempo, controlling areas and taking objectives. And I think this is why they've had so much success with him.
Disgusting Veno enjoyer Waga over here. Shake my head.
Honestly, yeah. I don't even recognize myself anymore.
What have you become? But yeah, you're seeing, you know, the pressure is on, and they can just take this tier 2, no problem. Granted, on the other side of things, you see Lace in the top lane. He's putting his own damage on the tower, and they have effectively mirrored one another, right? You've got Navi over in the Dire jungle, and then down in the Radiant side, T1 has effectively set up shop.
They're about to flip that mirror, though, and it's a binary thing. Either you take that tier 2 tower or you don't. They didn't finish the job on the tier 2 top, so I think we're going to see T1 move up there and defend now. If they can do that in time without losing the tier 2 tower, then they have an advantage.
Regen
They're
room
a little bit slow, though. They're moving, but they're not quite in time to defend it, perhaps. They don't see anyone on that.
Do they have a fort? Yeah, I was about to say, I think you pop the fort. But I'm not sure if they're going to actually go for the defense.
Yeah, they don't see enough people on the map. They finally see Batrider down bottom now, but... Oh, they didn't finish the job,
They're a little scared, though. Like, Lace is hiding up in the tree line, just waiting patiently for those creeps, but they could opt to make that swing towards the top lane. Although, I guess you've got a creep wave over...
They're hiding because they don't see anyone. I mean, they didn't know if there was a smoke running right at them, so they can't just mindlessly keep hitting the tower, because you would expect tier 1 to come, or T1 to come and defend that. But finally they saw them showing on mid lane, they saw the Morphling, now they're going to confidently go for the tower again. And they do finish the job. And now they want to get out of here. They smoke immediately.
But here's the thing. While all this is going down, we do have the Agnum Scepter completed for Ana now. It's go time.
Yeah, he's moving to join his team, ready to take a fight. But the smoke from Navi, though.
Sitting on the low ground. Sweden Strong going to be the first one who gets spotted. Go, drop that Poison Nova. There's going to be the glimpse back over onto Zephyr. Sweden Strong still alive over here in the corner. They'll end up losing the Venomancer. And still somehow Sweden Strong stays alive for a good amount of time. Ana silenced up, but doesn't seem to care too much, as now they're going to chase after this Wraith Pact. They decide to back off, though, on the side of T1. And so does Navi.
I think T1 honestly scaled better if this is just a farm trade, despite the fact that there is Naga Siren, due to the mismatch against Pudge, and the fact that Thompson is farming up a lot and becoming a carry in this, right? He has the Yasha, he has the Dragonlance, he's building towards a BKB now. He is looking like he's gonna scale to become quite strong in this game as well. He only needs the recipe and he has 200 gold to go.
So who are we watching closely for the next minute now?
I think... For me, it's Batrider and what moves he can look for. He has Lasso ready. Can he find a way to connect to his team and make stuff happen? Because I think they can't just calmly go into the night here. They're gonna lose if they don't gain active advantages.
Okay, well, no one does have the boots of travel, and we are seeing B-Tune and Solo in this top lane, kind of sticking close together just in case they need to have some sort of save. Got 3 on the side of T1 hanging out in the jungle, but everybody seems pretty content to just farm right now. It doesn't feel like anybody wants to make plays, and again, with no one being kind of isolated off to the side, they have the potential to try to put the pressure on him, even with Thompson just farming down here.
Yeah, and we see, by the way, there's a preparation going on already from Vitun on his Naga. He's going for a Lincoln Sphere next. And it is good against the Dismember, of course, but I think this is not even just about that. I think he's preparing for possible Aghanims on Morphling down the road, because you can click that on Illusions. It's still going to target onto the main hero, and it's super annoying to play into whenever you play Naga or any other Agi carry. Morphling's Ags really destroys you.
Tried to make a smoke play on the Naga Siren, but Vitun, realizing that he hasn't seen anyone in a while, does back off and does just teleport out. So now we have the collection of T1 here in this top area. Searching to see what they can find. They'll get a little bit of a glimpse off over onto Thompson. Buy him a bit more time. Ana jumping forward doesn't quite get anyone in his line of sight, as it feels like they're just keeping a really close eye here on this Roche.
Yeah, this is a battle for Roche control.
To get in.
Yeah, either team dying would result in the other team just taking Roche right afterwards. So Venomancer, of course, being good at oppressing and taking over this area. He's throwing down his wards on every single high ground ramp and gonna push back Navi a lot.
This feels a little bit like when occasionally T1, they'll do this too, right? They'll give Thompson, not Thompson, sorry, they'll give Ana, you know, that high farm priority. He's the traditional carry. Same thing going on with Navi this time around, where you've got, you know, Vitun, who's playing this Naga, is going to be the main source of that physical damage.
Coming in. They have the song. They can song to stop the Roche.
It's very ambitious. There it is. There's the song coming into play. Ana and Thompson still in the pit. No one staying nearby. Waiting, dropping a nice text, but they have the BKB over onto Thompson, onto the back lines of Swedenstrom, making just this fantastic hook shot over into the side, separating just two people off, and then they'll be able to get the kill over onto V2, the turnaround over onto no one. He is dead. Whitemon chasing after Lace now, just catching him in those shards. It's beautiful. It's a triple kill, and this is going to result in the Roche for the side of T1.
I think they got a little bit baited by the fact that, oh, look, we caught the pulse 1, the pulse 2. They're standing right next to each other. Let's just drop the Static Storm. But there was that BKB already finished up on the Morphling. And Pudge doesn't care that much about being caught in the Static Storm, as he's so tanky. He survived through it all, and they just turned this fight around. I think they probably had to focus on getting some kills that they can secure more easily. The song looked really fantastic here, but I think the cores were the wrong target. If they could have caught the 3 on the top instead, with the song, that could have been a big setup. They even had two of them.
They did catch them, and then they go in with the hook shot. Like, Swedenstrong had a great angle on that, but I think, like, Whitemon with the Tusk being able to just roll away as he did, and I don't know, as we go back into the game here, Thompson does indeed get caught, as he's going to be able to waveform up, but they still have the glimpse. He's going to get drawn in again, and that is going to be the Aegis. The rest of the team, side of T1, making their way over. Curious to see if they want to try to stand and fight. They are standing toe-to-toe, but now they're going to back off. They were able to get the Aegis. They're feeling happy about it. Looks like Ana was trying to go for a little bit of a hook. Doesn't manage to land it. All right, not bad for Navi, though, being able to burn that Aegis.
They get the Aegis. They did use the lasso, so now they have to dodge fights a little bit and play a little bit scared. But at least they don't have to worry about the Aegis Morphling anymore. The problem in this game is, though, they really wish that they had the Aghanim Scepters, and we are in the same spot one more time, right? The Clockwork, he only has the point booster and the Staff of Wizardry, and the Static Storm upgrade would be so important in this game. They're going for it on Disruptor as well. But I just think T1, they have more momentum, right? Their support, they're running with a Lotus Orb, they're finishing up an early BKB here. They're going to be getting more value out of the supports.
I understand that this is, like, so incredibly important. Zephyr just dropping the wards so that way they have the vision. He's like, all right, go see back. I've already done my job. Go get him, boys. And they just pop him right on out. That was a very interesting punch into hook.
Double Lotus Orb now as well. They can dispel the sticky napalm all the time, so Batrai's DPS is going to be terrible because he really relies on getting high numbers on that. But now with both Lotus Orb on Undying and Veno.
Thought Thompson was going to go for a little bit more of an aggressive dive over onto no one. He just teleports right to the tower. But nope. T1. They're going to back off. They're happy with what they got. Going to clean up these creeps over in the mid lane. And effectively have put the pressure down over on Navi.
Yeah, Navi have a lot of pressure, and I don't really see which power spike they're going to hit that's going to make the game a lot easier for them. They do have the Lincoln Spheres, of course, and they're building towards an Eye of Skadi on Naga, but there's no item that's going to massively change their ability to take a 5-man engagement. And that, I mean, there is, but that's the Aghanim's Disruptor, and it's far away. You need something now. T1 are just going to be the big bully here, controlling most of the map.
Dire's bottom tower
Again, tiny disruptor with big dreams. It's not like it's even easy for him to get out of here, get out of his base and be able to find this farm, because everywhere he goes, there's just people from T1 just climbing all over this map. And look at this, Thompson just feels very bold. His wave swarms right over here into the base. Solo will go and throw down the kinetic field, but he's feeling very, very powerful.
Yeah, I saw people on the side lane, so he's just pushing. He also knows he has backup by the Tusk and by the Lotus Orbs.
Dire's bottom tower is under
I
attack.
don't know how they get in here. I'm a bit concerned.
Yeah, right now it feels like Navi, they're just head in the sand. Like, if we don't acknowledge the problem, then it's not gonna hurt us. But you do have a problem, alright, Navi? You have a Morphling, he's coming. The creep wave, they tried to cut it, but they didn't get all of it. 2 creeps are coming, and then backdoor is gone.
Lotus placed over on Thompson.
Are fortified.
But almost finished off this tower. We'll use the fortification. They'll get the glimpse back over onto Thompson, but he's got the waveform. It's gonna be fine.
That's the glyph forced out. That's...
Ooh, the fake back? Or they're going for the Naga. They're going for Vtune. I feel like Vtune has to know this, right? Vtune has to be aware that, alright, they all just backed off suddenly.
Oh,
I've
yeah.
shown in the bottom lane.
Oh, but
But
he
can
doesn't
they lock him
understand they're
down for
close.
long enough is the question, though. All right, there's the stun into the shards. Goes, they follow up with the Song of the Siren, but you've got this BKB over on Ana, and he's just going to chase after him here. No problem. Doesn't even need the dismember. Good lord. No one in the top lane getting bullied by Thompson, who has also turned himself into his own Batrider.
Yeah, we had a sticky napalm war on top lane, but that is a huge pick-off as well for T1 getting that Naga kill. She had previously been the hopes and dreams, right? She is the most farmed on the map, but she doesn't match up very well in this game, and it will be difficult for her to carry. Now dead for 20 seconds. The tower is gonna fall immediately here when they go high ground too.
They'll throw Ana right up front and center. Thompson doing what Thompson does here on the Morphling, giving the clicks. Those Lotus Orbs being thrown out.
Yeah, I think they don't need to stress too much on T1. Like, it's easy for them to feel like, oh, we have a chance to go, but if everyone is respawned, respect the potential for Static Storm to catch people out, because you still don't have BKB on everyone, you don't have everyone being completely safe, so just be confident in your own late game if you're T1 here. Back up, hold the high ground. You know that you're getting faster farm than Navi. Meanwhile, Navi, they need to sneak out. Naga is just rushing out into the jungle saying, I need to get more farm. And she desperately needs another item. She's going for Orchid next, going for Bloodthorn. That is a fantastic counter to the Pudge. If you get the Mage Slayer and attack him, a lot of the damage is gone.
I guess my big concern is that, yes, Vtune's making his way out of the base, and he's able to farm, which is excellent, right? Because it's very dangerous. It's very dark over here on the side, too. In fact, you can see Solo kind of standing nearby, but they ping out Naga. Immediately, Vtune says, oh, I think I gotta leave now. So yeah, your Naga's getting farmed, which is important, but at the same time, like, everyone else on your team is just falling behind. Like, it is kind of becoming this one person against the world. Granted, you still have the lasso, right? Lasso's great. It's going to be able to, you know, separate and pull people back if you're given the opportunity. But I'm not sure that you're going to get that opportunity. And I'm worried here for the side of Navi.
Yeah, the problem for Navi is that we haven't been able to feel big impact.
No one.
TP down bottom.
Oh, no. Oh, all right. I don't think that was intended. No one, though. The BKB is down. Just chasing after Whitemon. Do see Cuckoo, and there's so much damage coming out from all of these little rocket flares. But there it is. They find the opening. They get the dismember off over onto no one. He's gonna have his... No, he's not gonna make it out in time to use that TP scroll. No way.
So he dies quickly. The problem in this game, I was gonna say, is exactly this. Like, Batrider struggled to have any real impact. Honestly, I didn't expect the Morphling mid by Thompson to work as well as it did against Batrider initially. But even the mid like the overall mid game, I thought Batrider would have a bigger power spike than he did, and we haven't really felt the Visage impact either. Overall, Navi have just been pretty like disabled by T1 and the way they played this game.
I'm curious, like thinking back on it, because we did say, you know, it's going to be a bit of a struggle for Thompson on the Morphling. What exactly did he do so well that made it that he became this huge threat? Because he was sitting at the top of the net worth for quite a while. It does a lot of damage. Like,
he's playing with good confidence. He knows his limits like better than anyone. He's very good at always getting the most out of any situation. So he's been pushing himself, you know, towards what could seem scary for a lot of other players in the matchup. Even he went up to 10 sticky napalm stacks, but he was like, nah, this is fine, got waveform, I can just back out. Similar to Slark against the Batrider, which is the more commonly picked counter, right? But they had this Morphling from early on in the draft. They decided, you know what, we can just put him against Bat, that works fine.
This is definitely one of those games that I feel like I want to go back and just watch the way that he plays this Morphling with the efficiency. And like you said, a lot of it is confidence and knowing the limits on your hero. But seems very, very impressive to me.
Yeah, he's gonna get Aegis now as well, so getting even stronger. And a shard over on the Pudge, so lower cooldown on that Dismember, and he can of course save people now. Good utility coming in for him. This is looking real dangerous. Like, how do you deal with the 5-man of T1 at this point? They have so many different things going for them.
And I mean, that again is the issue. You still have a Naga Siren with the top net worth of 20,000, but there's such a huge gap between the Naga and then the next up is, of course, the Batrider, who has been struggling.
They need gold on Disruptor. Glimpse one of the illusions, man. He needs 250 gold so he gets Aghanims. We're at the same spot as last game.
All right, there's the hook shot from Sweden Strong. He's going to push back over on Thompson. They've got the Lotus on him.
He sold everything
does have the Aegis, though.
He sold
oh, God.
Same
All
thing.
right. It's the big gamble. You hope it's gonna work. I don't know about this though.
No boots, he has to
T1
waddle in and drop it.
Oh dear.
It's all on Naga. Can Naga find a timing where she gets a big song and people are stacked up? Then we could see the dream. If everyone stacks up, they could get punished here by this play. Naga is looking for it. She's eyeing it.
Dive forward here, coming from Anna and Thompson. Okay, there it is. But again, this Pudge doesn't care so much. This Thompson is probably going to care a little bit more, but they do manage to split the fight up with Whitemon over on the back line, so he's not going to have the snowball to go in and get the save, but they can't do enough because he does manage to get over there in time with the snowball, saving up that Thompson here. And they go and drag back over onto Lace. The buyback coming out from V2. They don't want to get knocked down as they'll end up losing Whitemon. Season Strong running away, Thompson waveforming, chasing after him, should be able to clean him up with couple hits. And now another buyback coming out from Lace. V2 though left alone. He doesn't have any friends. He doesn't have the help that he needs because they're just giving him the clicks right down. They'll get the kill on the Naga. That is a dieback. Cuckoo just trying to run away because no one wants something for his troubles. We'll be able to find it. And now Thompson gonna get glimpsed back. Immediately dropping the Manta. Gets nuked down a little bit. Another Lotus being placed on him. Still has that Aegis. It's him and Zephyr really against the world. No one really wanting this. The waveform forward though, he's thinking about going back in. That is the Aegis.
He's gonna come back. It's gonna be fine. And maybe even wants to push here. But I think he should respect that Clockworker's respawning as well. He's gonna be greatly outnumbered if he goes in. So he thinks better of it. Gotta back out. I can't believe we saw part 2 of the tragic disaster of Disruptor. Like, this is he has now repurchased his boots. He's like, okay, it felt like the play worked, but you don't have damage. Like, you caught the Morphling and the Pudge, but they simply take no damage from the Naga and her illusions. It looked like her DPS was non-existent. Pudge just stands there. The Shiva's mitigating some of the attack speed, and of course, Flesh Heap wasn't even needed there, right? He just has Blaster against Shiva's, enough for tanking all these right clicks.
I mean, like you said, it's a huge problem is that you can get these nice setups, right? I thought that was a very nice song.
It was good. They needed great. It was a good song. They needed a great one. They needed like 3 or 4 heroes next to each other, not just 2 heroes.
They needed some Mozart level stuff going on during that. And I also thought, you know, no one identifying that Whitemon has been, you know, this person who's able to get these saves down, but they weren't able to finish him off. I was like, oh, they don't have the snowball. Like, this is their chance. But then all of a sudden, Whitemon, he's there and he's just saving everybody. Like, it's insane.
Thompson is in.
Again, all right, here we go. They grab Thompson. Waiting, there's the hook shot coming in from Sweden Strong. It's a lot of hatred, a lot of damage being placed over here. Wait patiently again with those saves, the follow-up, the clicks over onto Sweden Strong, the BKB popped over onto Thompson, over onto Anna. They're just kind of stuck in the corner. The song does get used by V-Team, but Anna blinks forward. Is going to end up falling asleep because the BKB duration is done, but he gets the hook off over onto Lace. This is going to be a very dead Visage. And T1 just finishing off this top racks with Thompson. Does get glimpsed back here. No one trying what he can, but it is very difficult because there's Anna jumping forward, sees V-Tune, wants this kill, gets the hook going on in with the Walrus Punch. They end up killing the Naga, and
That's
the
gonna be
GG
it.
gets called.
Yeah.
T1 looking real dominant with a really kind of weird but very solid draft to take down Navi.
Yeah, and they show it. I mean, Naga, she really couldn't do anything this game in the big team fight scenarios. There's too much AoE damage coming out from this Aghanim Punch just walking in and standing against her. The illusions constantly just died immediately. And the Shivas on top of that, of course, denying a lot of the attack speed even when they were alive. And yeah, they made it look pretty easy here in the final game. T1 all smiles around, but for Navi, it felt like such a Hail Mary that they went for twice, going for this Aghanim's Disruptor play, even doubling down in this game, going for the Naga Siren into the Aghanim's Disruptor play. It's neat, but they needed to have more stuff going for them in the early mid-game, and it just felt like they weren't able to fight T1 at all at any stage of this game.